Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily astrology horoscope for Thursday, December 5th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful week so far. Let's go ahead and hop into those charts, see what we got going on. How we're going to be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. Well, this is last day of Mars direct. It'll be retrograding here on Friday, and then Neptune will be stationing direct as well on that same day. So definitely a lot of interesting energy with that too, right? So of course we are going to see this moon here in Aquarius, and interesting enough, by the time that this sun reaches 14 degrees, the degree that I will say that's like the main degree that we'll experience on the day, that we'll see this moon actually shift to that 6 degrees and actually start to oppose this Mars. Well, the sun, 1 plus 4 is 5. That is mercurial energy, because 5 is Mercury, Gemini energy. And look at that. It happens to be conjoined with Mercury here, opposed Jupiter. So, yep. Thursday is definitely going to be an interesting day. I would say be prepared for some interesting news to come out. Definitely some different kinds of communications. Because this is Mercury retrograde, we are going to become aware of some type of information here. And it's going to definitely play more so into people's beliefs and how they see the world at large. It's going to play more into that. Because this is a retrograde, this is, like I said, a review period for Mercury, but the Sun caziming with Mercury here, that conjunction, that's definitely, and this is the inferior conjunction too, because Mercury is retrograding back onto the Sun, right? So it's going to definitely be a day, it's definitely going to be a day where we're going to definitely get some type of interesting information. We've already been getting a lot of interesting stuff. We got freaking martial law being declared and then being taken off in South Korea. We have the CEO of one of the biggest in, like, what was it again? It's like medical insurance or something like that, right? We got the CEO getting assassinated. Like, there's a lot of interesting stuff that's happening, right? And we're just going to honestly see more and more and more. So the Sun-Mercury conjunction is obviously a really big deal. They are amplifying each other's energies. Of course, this Mercury is retrograde. It is in its detriment. Ironically, though, it's one of the stronger planets, which is interesting. That Sun is at +3. That Mercury is at +2. So ironically, it's actually not in the worst spot it could be score-wise. I think it just has a lot to do with the mutual reception with Jupiter. Probably has a lot to do with the fact that the Sun is there too, because the Sun's in a fire sign, so that definitely helps it. So it's definitely a pretty interesting energy. I think also we have to take into consideration, the nodes themselves, and yes, the nodes do have rulers. North node is ruled by Gemini. The South node is ruled by Sag. So if we take a look at the South node and where it is, and the North node where it is, these energies are obviously affecting this Mercury as well. So South node being in Libra, it's an air sign. North node being in Aries, it's a fire sign. How does Mercury deal with that? It's trining that North node, right? So not exactly trining it, but it's trining the same sign. I think this is definitely going to be a day where people are going to be wanting to emotionally disconnect with that moon here in Aquarius, especially considering the fact that it is opposing this Mars in Leo, which is slowing down to an absolute crawl. And it's something that you're going to feel the energy. If you haven't already been feeling the energy just start to drain out of you, the energy is really just going to get sucked out of you with this sort of thing, especially with whatever information we become more aware of, because the Sun reveals what is not there. The Sun reveals what is hidden, and reveals what is in the dark. So some type of information is going to be revealed here, right? And like I said, with this moon opposing this Mars also, we are going to experience this wanting to emotionally disconnect from the world, from other people, even maybe even with the passion that we may be feeling or the creativity, because there's probably this feeling of why bother? Things are slowing down anyways. It's not actually going to move forward the way I want because we're going to see Mars here in this zone until like spring of next year, right? It's going to retrograde here on Friday. It's going to retrograde back into Cancer, have its temper tantrum, then it's going to come back forward, and we won't see it exit this shadow until like May or something like that. So it's going to be here for a while, right? So emotionally, I think subconsciously, a lot of people are going to be feeling that things aren't going to be moving forward as fast as they per se want to. There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some traffic jams. There's going to be some delays here. Definitely going to be some delays. I've already been feeling a lot of the delays with Saturn just coming out of its retrograde, but still moving slow. So there's going to be some delays. Neptune, right, is getting ready to come back online, but it's going to be very, very slow. Ironically, the fastest moving planet out of a lot of these planets, especially out of the outer planets, is Pluto, which is interesting. Pluto's even moving faster than Mars. So it's interesting too, right? When you have Pluto, the executioner, moving faster than some of these other planets, Mars hates stopping. It does not want to stop at all, especially in a fire sign. That's just going to frustrate it even more. So just take that into consideration, with this moon in Aquarius, we're going to be emotionally maybe a little bit more aloof and wanting to disconnect or wanting to connect. It's not just about disconnecting. It could also be about connecting, but we got to find the right people to connect to, the right signals to connect to. Maybe, like I said in my thing yesterday, like maybe the Wi-Fi signal is a little bit weak here, but I think with that Sun and Mercury coming together, it's definitely a sort of a aha moment. It's that light bulb going off. It's that idea. But because it's retrograde, it's not like we can just move this thing forward as fast as we want to, right? This energy is still in square to Saturn. Even though it is coming off of the square to Saturn, we still have this Cazimi still in square to Saturn, and we have it opposed Jupiter here as well. So there's definitely, so effectively, we have a bit of a, mutable T-square between the Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter. And even though it's not exact, you can definitely feel this influence because Jupiter is the biggest planet, Saturn is the second biggest planet, and the Sun is the biggest celestial body in our solar system. Ironically, with Mercury here, the smallest. So it's interesting. We have all this big energy, and then we have Mercury trying to make sense of all of it. That's why it's going to be tough to try and make sense of everything that's going on right now. It's really, really big, and it can go over our head a little bit in a sense. That's why I think it's probably good to be a little bit detached in a sense and kind of cool and aloof and not necessarily allow a lot of the external stuff to dictate and determine our energetic field and our emotions. Because if we allow those things to come in and dictate how we really are feeling about things, I think we can observe things, but we have to definitely watch our reactions today, especially with this moon opposing Mars, which is slowing down in Leo. We have to watch our responses to things and we have to watch our reactions, because if we have these knee-jerk reactions, you will continue to ostracize people. We also have Venus, of course, coming into its major conjunction with Pluto and Ceres at 0 degrees of Aquarius. That's also building. So there's a lot of tightening energy here, right? There's this moon, we're also heading for that first quarter square to the sun, right? So we have Mars that's getting ready to come, is getting ready to retrograde. We have Neptune that's getting ready to come forward. We have a major conjunction that's getting ready to happen. We have a first quarter square that's getting ready to come up. Got a lot of things that are happening here, right? So this is a time where we need to be easier on ourselves, have some grace on ourselves, and know that, yes, the energy can be a bit uncomfortable, but there are little pockets like where we can find these little pockets within our days to be grateful, to remember the things that we have in our life, remember the things that are working out, the relationships that are working out. Those are the things that we really, really want to pay attention to. As we move throughout the day, we'll see this moon, it's going to continue, of course, here 4 p.m. We're going to see that Sun, Mercury, Cazimi come even more and more and more tight here. That moon is going to be at 10 degrees. And by the time we get to the later half of the day, of course, we'll see it's it's started to semi-sextile Saturn, really, by the end of the day. It's getting ready to even sextile this Sun-Mercury Cazimi. In fact, by the time that the moon reaches 13 degrees, the sun would have moved past Mercury, right? So it's like by the time we get to Thursday night, we kind of get past it. We kind of get the information. We get the download, if you will. And now we have to work on, it's like, all right, how am I going to process this? How am I going to process this? Is there an opportunity with this download? Because this is a sextile, this is an opportunity. Is there an opportunity to take this information, right, and to move forward in a positive way? Is there a way to take this information and to, like plant a seed for, something that can grow into something really beautiful in the future, right? Yeah, it may not necessarily happen immediately. Mars is slowing down, right? It may not happen immediately, but that does, just because Mars is retrograde and it's slowing down doesn't mean that we can't take action. Doesn't mean that we can't do anything, right? It just means, especially, that the energy is just not going to be there. So you have to work a little bit harder and dig a little bit deeper to find your energy and to find your reserves. You have to be able to find that third, fourth, fifth gear. You have to be able to find that extra battery, right? It's not so much of like, it's not so much just having one charger. You need like a backup to your charger, and you probably need like one of those like portable charging blocks that you can bring with you in case you don't have, in case you don't have access to an outlet, right? So that's kind of where we are right now. You're not going to be able to just kind of plug in all the time into something that would normally give you the energy per se. I'm using cell phones and stuff like that as an example, but it's like say like you have like your regular charger, right? That's the cord, and you plug that into the wall. Well, what if you need a little bit of energy, energetically, metaphorically speaking, and you don't have that wall plug? You may need like one of those portable little charging battery kits that you can plug that into your phone, and then you're Gucci, right? So you have to be able to have those things. So people that don't have those sort of things set up in their life, metaphorically, spiritually, energetically, they're going to find themselves running out of energy much faster with this Mars retrograde, right? And with, like I said, this moon that's opposing it, we are going to be feeling a little bit more disconnected with all this too. Some people are going to be feeling like, what is this? Some people maybe even be feeling like, what's the purpose? People are going to be feeling like they are in a bit of a daze, especially with Neptune getting ready to finally come back online. People are going to be feeling like, what is going on? It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel very floaty. Like people are going to be feeling like they're floating in jello, right? I think we are going to be feeling like that on some degree. It's ironically been a little quiet. Like it hasn't been too quiet after the election, but it's been a bit quiet in some areas, right? But we're about to start to see some things spice up a little bit, especially with this Mercury Sun Cazimi that's happening at 14 degrees. Like I said, 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 is mercurial, so this is going to be a very mercurial conjunction, right? Which means that it's not necessarily, in this case, about your beliefs and your ideals. It's about the facts. It's about what is actually true. And how people respond to that truth and how people respond to those facts is going to really show you, what side of the fence they are on. If that makes any sense. So, for your card for today, let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we got for your card of the day. I have the Queen of Coins. I was almost about to draw 2 cards, so I will go ahead and pick up the other card. I have the Queen of Coins, but I also have the 8 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I mean, things are feeling like they're slowing down. And I feel like this is about how can we connect back to our roots. That's what I'm feeling like with this Queen of Coins. We need to learn how to connect back to our roots. We need to learn how to connect back to our values. Because when he says, that's the interesting thing about it. Beliefs and values aren't necessarily the same. Sometimes they can co-align. and they can align with each other, but they aren't always the same thing. Generally, values and self-confidence and worth and stuff like that, generally that's Taurus. Belief, that's Sag. That's Pisces, right? So they don't always coexist. They don't always go align with each other, but sometimes they can. I think with this energy that is slowing down in many ways, and I think it's going to be more so our motivations. I don't think things are just going to stop happening. I think it's going to be your motivation and the inspiration and your want to be more creative in your life and to really express your creativity. That's going to be slowing down, right? So we need to get back to our roots. We need to get back to asking ourselves why we even started in the first place, right? What is it about this? And you can insert whatever this is. What is it about this that made me feel more alive, or feel the passion, or feel the creativity, or feel that positive, blissful, emotion? You can ask yourself this about like a relationship, about a job, about a hobby, right? Or in the relationship, it could be romantic, it could not be romantic, but we'll be asking ourselves these questions. I think the Mercury retrograde on with the sun will definitely give us a bit of an aha moment. So maybe we can connect back to our roots, or our base, and our that original value, and be like, okay, so this is why I even started in the first place. And I think it's going to be a testing ground for us to be like, if you really love that thing, if you really want that thing, then you'll be willing to do whatever it takes to foster that relationship and that growth. Like I said, be it with a person, be it with a job, be it with like a hobby or something like that, or even just your overall spiritual practice. You'll do what you have to do to foster it, because love, in the way that we have been fed to believe and think that it is, this whole Hollywood kind of esque, like, filter of love, that's not actually love. It's like a very, very small little piece of it, right? But love, there's suffering in love, right? You got to find the people that are worth suffering for, because everyone's going to hurt you, right? Everyone's going to hurt you. Everything's going to hurt you. Even the things that you love will hurt you. But you have to find the things that are worth suffering for. So that is what I'm getting out of this Eight of Wands, Queen of Coins in reverse. It's about reconnecting back to why, the original why, and the original why you even started this in the first place, and why you originally planted that seed. And you have to ask yourself, are you really about it, or you're not? And I wouldn't say that there's really any right or wrong answer. This is going to be something that you're going to have to come up with on your own and ask yourself. So, but like I said, since the energy is kind of crazy right now and heavy and stuff like that and very uncomfortable, I don't know if people are going to be making a lot of decisions immediately right now. And I don't really think this is a great time to be just making major life-changing decisions. This is not really the time to be making major life-altering decisions unless these were already set in motion like 4, 5, 6 months ago. If things were set in motion then that's cool, But otherwise, I don't think this is the time to be making major life-altering decisions. So, especially with the moon in Aquarius, that's going to be emotionally kind of aloof with all this energy. So, that's going to do it for your daily astrology horoscope for this Thursday, December 5th. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, follow my link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Thursday. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.